football is back. Amanda Poole here with Rob Washburn. Week 1 of CAA football is here, which means it's time to discuss 3 things to watch across the conference. Rob, starting off with the reigning CAA champs, Rhode Island. The preseason favorites host Campbell on Friday in a repeat conference opener back from 2024, where URI won 21-9.
Yeah, Amanda, that victory started a 7-game winning streak for the Rams, who went on to earn their first CAA championship since 1985 with a program best 11-3 record while advancing to the second round of the FCS playoffs. Now, Rhodey returns most of its key players from a year ago, especially on offense, where quarterback Devin Farrell, All-America wide receiver Marquise Buchanan, and a veteran offensive line led by Brock Bethea are back. And leading the defense is All-America linebacker A.J. Pena, who had 8 tackles, 2 sacks, and a fumble recovery in that win over the Camels a year ago.
Yeah, Rob, a few more unknowns awaiting Rams head coach Jim Fleming as Campbell's lineup has evolved since last fall. Fleming telling us despite the success last year, he wants his guys to be where their feet are.
You always want to better your best, and certainly, one of the things that everybody sets out for is to be able to win their last football game, and at this level of football, in order to do that, you have to win the national championship. Is that a reasonable expectation? I mean, that's left to be determined, week in, week out. So we have mentioned it one time and then put it in the rearview mirror, knowing that, the process that gets you to game-to-game victories and wins and consistency is, it's a long battle.
Now the visitors' sidelines, Campbell will be itching to set the tone for the 2025 season. It's year 2 for head coach Braxton Harris and his staff. Harris telling us this week they have equipped themselves with a roster that can win in the fourth quarter and close out conference battles. That effort will be spearheaded by Campbell's returners, who have seen the competition and understand the small margin of error they have when taking on the Rams.
Yeah, last year, Amanda, Campbell actually outgained Rhode Island by more than 80 yards and had nearly twice as many first downs, but they only cashed in on 2 of the 4 trips into the red zone. Now, one bright spot in that game was the play of quarterback Mike Chandler, who came off the bench in the fourth quarter to lead a touchdown drive and accounted for almost 100 yards of offense. He should be under center from the outset on Friday night, so we'll see what he can do.
Mike Chandler is as dynamic as anybody in the CAA. Really excited to be able to see him, be able to year 2 with him and within our offense, being able to be back there. I'm excited what those guys can bring to the table.
The Camels kick off at 6 p.m. on Friday at Rhode Island. Our second thing to watch this week is another matchup. North Carolina A&T takes on Tennessee State. First game for A&T under head coach Sean Gibbs, who is hoping to regain the Aggie pride that existed when he was an assistant coach, and the team captured 5 MEAC titles from 2014 to 2019. They face a tough test against a Tennessee State team that is coming off a 9-4 campaign, including a berth in the FCS playoffs.
It's one of the blue blood programs in HBCU football. They've had a lot of great coaches, a lot of great players, some NFL Hall of Famers. They've had the first pick in the NFL draft before. And from looking at, what they had last year, we know they always have athletes. So we got to come out, we got to execute, and we got to play North Carolina A&T football.
Yeah, certainly a fresh start for a proud North Carolina A&T program and a big stage for the Aggies at Nissan Stadium, the home of the Tennessee Titans. Now, Coach Gibbs has talked about changing that culture, and that starts with establishing a physical rushing attack with running back Shamik Blizzard and Wesley Graves running behind All-American line led by All-American Corian Sharp. The Aggies should be able to do that. Now, defensively, there are veterans back in the secondary led by Aaron Harris. Now, opening on the road against a quality program is not the easiest way to begin a season, but if the Aggies can play clean football and not allow big plays, they'll give themselves a chance.
Kickoff set for 4:30 in Nashville on Saturday for the Aggies. Rounding out our 3 things, 5 CAA teams will start the year against FBS opponents, including 2 games against Power 4 teams as Elon faces Duke today and UAlbany travels to Iowa on Saturday night.
Yeah, CAA football teams have won 43 games over FCS opponents all time, including at least 1 victory in 14 of the past 18 seasons. In fact, 11 different CAA teams own FBS wins since 2013, including Monmouth over FIU last season.
It's going to be, great environment there, but at the same token, Iowa can only send out 11 guys at a time, so can we. So I want to see them not allow, the circumstances of the game, the crowd noise, the gravity of the stadium being larger than what we're used to playing in not be an issue for them, and just, focus on their job and play hard. And I think, any team who does that for 4 straight quarters is going to be pleased with the result of how they played.
Duke, I have a ton of respect for Coach Diaz and the job he has done there. They are a talented football team. He's been able to keep the nucleus of that team together. One thing I would say coming out of last year's game is our guys have been there. They've been in that stadium. They know what it's going to look like. They know what the locker room's like. They know that we've been in a position to compete in that football game last year.
And to tune into these matchups, here's a look at the Week 1 schedule. CAA action starts tonight at 7 p.m. Follow CAA football on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for in-game updates and scores.